Today our guest is Richard Davis. He's the president, founder, and facilitator of the Madison Wisconsin Institute of Healing of Racism, Inc. Mr. Davis is happy. We're happy to have you here, man.
I'm happy to be here, Jeff.
Yes.
I'll do anything for you because you seem to be the man who's trying to do some things in Madison.
Well, thanks, Mr. Davis. It's all about, connecting with the community, and what you have in your institute is great. You want to let the viewers know, what your institute does?
Yes, we'll be glad to do that. It's called the Institutes for Healing of Racism, but it is really bent on changing racial conditioning. Racial conditioning seems to be a broader term to use because it involves everybody. It's not accusatory, pointing a finger at one group of people. So we prefer to use conditioning because all of us have been conditioned.
Right.
No matter what the race, ethnic background, we've been conditioned from day one to think a certain way about other people who don't look like us. So what we do is bring those people together so they can talk about these things, because people just don't get together enough to one-on-one talking about this and that. So they go along with a narrow strip of knowledge. So what we do is promote knowledge by study, and we promote heart-to-heart contact by people telling each other how they feel about things. And however they feel about things, it's their business. We don't criticize, we don't debate, we don't edit. We're just joining together to form a puzzle that gives us a broad picture of what's going on. And I'm amazed all the time at what some people just don't know about.
Yeah. So when did you start doing this? I mean, what was the passion that had you bring people together to smooth out racial myths, or to help get that going?
Well, let's say, for starters, I've been black all my life.
Yes, sir.
And that in itself is an encouragement to combat conditioning. But with this organization, I started in the year 2000. That's 12 years. And it's been very successful. I have many people go through as participants, returnees, people who help me to facilitate, school teachers who come to get an idea of what's going on. And to me, it's one of the best things I've ever done.
I know you mentioned school teachers, but what occupation have you seen the most come through your program?
I would say it's a cross thing of all occupations. Students, professionals, school teachers. I'm aiming for the school teachers, and I'm focusing on them because they influence our kids from a very early age. And they have let me know that they need some help in knowing what to do, how to do, and get past the fear of trying to change the system. Revolutionary. That's a dangerous word. But the experts who I'm involved with around the country say the school system needs a revolution. But teachers don't want to make it uncomfortable for themselves and other teachers or administrators. So it kind of retards the process.
I've seen some of your advertisements, and it's always a few books that you want your people that's coming into your program to read or to get the book, so they have some references. You want to tell everybody about these books?
Oh yeah, the books, they're very essential because you got, and it's mostly white people, white authors. Because white people can make an impact on white people, more so than I can. And I don't consider myself a wise man, but I consider myself a great messenger. I get the messages over. And if I would bring my opinions in, people might debate that. So they're seeing a mythical or ghost-like characteristic of someone whose books I've studied. And I have great quotes from Gandhi, Martin Luther King, James Baldwin, and all people. But the books I recommend is Tim Wise's White Like Me,
Okay.
Uprooting Racism by Paul Kibble,
Okay.
Racial Healing by the man who got me started with this, Nathan Rutstein and Reggie Newkirk.
Okay.
They're the ones who got me, because I heard Nathan on the Gene Faraka show 12 years ago. And I said, man, I got to learn something from this guy.
Right. Yeah.
So right now I'm concentrating heavily on action. What do you do with all this knowledge?
Right.
And how do you maintain ally building, getting people to think in the way of being anti-racist,
right,
and improving on social injustices.
Right. So, Mr. Davis, when you have someone come to your program for the first time, what do you expect to get out of that person at the end of the program? What's the change you want to see? What's that point you want to see?
Well, they tell me what changes they've gone through. They tell me that this class has changed my life. It has saved some marriages because we teach people how to listen to each other.
Okay.
And it has been a platform for them to examine thoroughly what they want to get out of life and how they can better the community. So when they first come, we ask them their name, ask them to say why did they come,
okay,
what do they want to get out of it, and I take notes on all these things, not writing, just in my head.
Okay.
And one of the things that keeps surfacing is the fear of.
Okay.
So I concentrate on that subject quite a bit. And when I concentrate on a subject,
right,
it's not my ideas.
Right.
I go to psychiatrists, psychologists, social workers, and ask them to tell me what fear is. So it's all professionalism.
Yeah. Okay. In your class, is it white and black? Is it multi, or is it?
Good question, Jeff.
Is it mostly white, or is it mostly black? What's the demographics?
Good
racial
question. It's mostly white females.
Okay.
If I have 20 to 25 people in the class, which I can only hold 20 to 25 people in my house, I would say 80%, if not more, are white females. And I know that they can change the world because they have.
Okay.
And they're very strong. And I support them and tell them about how they're going to be confronted with things that are opposing their interests.
Okay.
I tell them what to say, how to say it, and they come back and tell me that they tried these processes and they work. Next to that is maybe out of 25, it'll be 3 to 4 white males.
Okay.
And then maybe 3 to 4 people of color.
Okay.
Now I run a face-to-face thing besides this series.
Okay.
Where I purposely get 10 white people in a room with 10 people of color in a room.
Okay.
So they face each other. So that's 50-50.
Right.
And that's amazing what it's gotten from that, man.
Okay.
Face-to-face is challenging. It's questions that have been compiled by a guy named Lee Moon Wah.
Okay.
And it's not like you ask me a question. You're reading a question that has already been submitted.
Okay.
500 questions. From people from all over the world asking these questions.
Okay.
And it makes people cry. It makes people do this. The other day, the woman said, I feel so dumb because she's 60 years old. And she felt so dumb because she didn't know that people of color, students, are going through this. I mean, black, Asian, Hispanic, Native Americans, because they're sitting there answering these questions. And as a facilitator, I'm supposed to be able to come back with something that'll make them more comfortable.
Right.
That's my job.
Okay.
And I said to her, I said, you know what? You're feeling dumb and recognize that it is the beginning of you becoming smart. And she sat back and relaxed, man.
Okay. That was a good comeback.
And I knew her friend, and her friend said, you said the right thing to her because they drove home together. She said, that guy really made me feel I have a chance. Wouldn't want anybody leaving there feeling bad.
Right.
Just going through a sensation of transformation.
Okay. So, Mr. Davis, if someone wants to take your class or get involved in any of these sessions you have, how would they do that?
I like getting calls at home. A lot of people say, I won't bother you at home. I said, no, bother me, please. My phone number is 608-255-6666. And you can call me anytime from 6 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock at night.
Okay.
And I'll be sitting there being glad to hear from you.
Yes, sir. Do you have a website?
Website is richarddavis.org. And everything that we can talk about today, much more is on the website.
Okay.
Explain the whole thing.
Okay. And when is
email too.
Okay. And when is your next class scheduled? Your next session?
January 10th.
Okay.
Through March 14th. Is every Thursday between January 10th, March 14th, 6 to 8 at my house.
Okay.
Which is 902 West Shore Drive.
Mr. Davis, how do you schedule an appointment or join your session?
That number I gave, 255-6666, is direct contact with me.
Okay.
And you can join on the phone.
Okay.
And I'll send you an application through your email. And if you don't have an email address, I'll just take down the information as we talk.
Okay.
And you're in.
Okay.
Then after you join for the application, I send you a format so you know what we do.
Okay.
How the sessions go.
All right. Well, before I let you go, Mr. Davis, I can't let you go without letting everybody know that you're a big musician. Yes, sir. Mr. Davis is a world-renowned musician. Would you like to let people know what you've done?
Well, I've done a few things. Maybe 3,000 recordings with some of the top names you've probably heard of on the jazz side and the classical European side. But I try to separate the two. When I'm facilitating, I'm facilitating. When I'm playing the bass, I'm playing the bass.
Yes, sir.
Also want to tell the audience here too, he's the best barber I've ever had in my life.
Thank you, Mr. Davis.
I stopped going into him until I met him.
Yes, sir. Well, I definitely appreciate that, Mr. Davis. I'm happy to have you on the show, and hopefully we can have you back, and we'll give everybody.